Hello everybody, and what a muppet show it is in Parliament. Liz Truss, the new Prime Minister, is now the gone Prime Minister. She only lasted 44 days. Now, I do predict that the Tories they've come up with... they're going to get a new Prime Minister, basically, by the end of... at the very latest, it'd be next Friday, could be beforehand. Now, I do predict, because all the globalist shows like Dominic Raab and in the Conservative Party, we've already been nailing their colours to the Rishi Sunak mast. Now, if you thought it was undemocratic for the Prime Minister that people voted for to be removed, and then a new Prime Minister comes in and rips up the policies that people voted for, implements new policies, well, I do predict there's going to be a coronation. Rishi Sunak, who lost the election contest between Truss and Sunak, the whole process, when they had all the candidates, whittled it down to two, that lasted 2 months. Yet the Prime Minister only lasted 44 days. So yeah, if you thought that was undemocratic, imagine this. When they do the votes for the candidates, just imagine that Rishi Sunak is the only one that gets over 100 votes, and who knows how many candidates there's going to be, but in Parliament there's just over 300 and odd Conservative MPs. Just imagine if Rishi Sunak gets... there could be several candidates stand, and Rishi Sunak could get 200 and odd votes. The rest is split between the other candidates, and then that's it then. It doesn't go to the... listening to... what's his name? The 1922 committee chairman. Mr. Brady. I forget his first name. I think he's called... His second name's Brady. Well, he's the one who came out today, and when he was posed a question, if only one candidate gets over the 100 vote threshold, does that mean it wouldn't go to the Tory party members to vote on? And he said, yes, that is correct. So, yeah. The globalists want Rishi Sunak. He's the poster boy for the World Economic Forum. He's definitely not Conservative, but let's face it, there's not many in that party that are Conservative, and all the big players who've got chance to be leader, none of them are Conservative. They're all Liberals. But yeah, imagine that if it's a coronation, Rishi Sunak, who lost the members' votes only 44 days ago. Imagine if he gets coronated without there being a members' vote. Very, very undemocratic, but this is the two-party system that needs to change. But yes, enough on that, because I'm sure pretty much every video coming up on YouTube is about Liz Truss resigning. There's a story I came across last Friday, and it's in Ireland. And my word, if you think the woke agenda in this country, well, it is bad. So you don't think it is bad. If you think it's bad, but it is bad in this country. People are losing their jobs, etc. Simply for having YouTube channels and saying the wrong thing, and then people sending it to their employers. People are getting sacked for that. And far less than that. It's just... but this article in Ireland is about a teacher, an award-winning teacher called Enoch Burke. Now, his headmaster insisted that he referred to pupils with the they-them pronoun. This, by the way, is a Church of Ireland religious high school as well. So the headmaster insists that this teacher has to refer to the kids as they or them. He refused to do that, and he was suspended from his job, and he was put in prison on September the 5th because he refused to stay away from the school while he was suspended. So the woke agenda in the Republic of Ireland have put this award-winning teacher in jail. He's been in jail he's been in prison since September, and they've told him. I'll play the footage in a minute. After the footage. I'll scroll it down so you can see the article. But he's been in prison since September. The judge said that he can't have an appeal until February. And what's his crime? He hasn't been sentenced. There's no crime. He's basically been put in prison from September to February. Because he refused to go with this woke, insane, far-left narrative, and he refused to call kids they, them, instead of he, she. If you think this country's gone bonkers, and it has gone bonkers, but the Republic of Ireland, wow, I'm glad I don't live in that country.
Secondary school teacher Enoch Burke has told an appeal court judge that setting a date for next February for his appeal to be heard was an insult to the rule of law. Mr Burke was seeking an urgent hearing of his appeal against injunctions granted to Wilson's Hospital School, directing him to stay away and also concerning his suspension.
Enoch Burke told the court he had gone from being a first-class teacher who coached students to award after award to sitting as a criminal in a 12-foot by 6-foot cell for 20 hours a day. He's been in Mountjoy jail since September the 5th for refusing to comply with an injunction granted to the school where he works, directing him to stay away. He had continued to turn up to work despite being suspended as part of disciplinary proceedings, which began after he publicly confronted the then principal, objecting to a request to call a pupil a different name and use they pronouns. This morning, a High Court judge ruled that the full hearing of his dispute with the school should be heard before Christmas or early in the new year. But Mr Burke wants his appeals to be heard first as a matter of urgency, saying if he wins, there would be no need to go ahead with the other case. In the appeal court, Mr Justice John Edwards told him the earliest date he could be given was February the 16th. Mr Burke told the judge he didn't accept this. He said it was an insult to the rule of law and the judge could establish a special sitting to hear his case. Mr Burke's mother, Martina, interjected to tell the judge this was ridiculous and said her son was incarcerated because of corrupt judges who were colluding together. The judge ordered she be taken out of court. After a further interruption from Mr Burke's sister, Amy, he said he would report her to the disciplinary committee of the Law Society, but later rescinded that order. The judge told Mr Burke his appeal was not about him being in custody and he hadn't appealed the order committing him to prison. Mr Burke said this wasn't true. He accused the judge of not listening to a word he'd said and of making up his mind to leave him in custody. And he quoted scripture saying, "Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil." Finally, Mr Burke said the judge should not be in the chair if he thought the case had nothing to do with his religious beliefs. At this, the court rose and Mr Burke was taken back to the cells by prison officers. He's due back in the High Court in November. Orla O'Donnell, RTE News, the Court of Appeal.